Gino, how has competition elevated all parts of the quarterback's games?
It goes back to Coach Freeman. You always use the term iron sharpens iron. So, when you got 4 guys in a room as talented as we've got, they understand each and every day they got to bring their best.
What's the one thing that stood out to you in the couple weeks of practice with each of the quarterbacks?
You say, individually? Riley Leonard's dynamic with his legs. I think everybody kind of knew that coming in. We didn't get a snapshot of that in the spring due to him being out, but has the ability to extend plays and then loosens up defense with the threat of quarterback run. Steve Angeli's super consistent, kind of understands the offense, understands our personnel, is super accurate passing. Kenny this sprint or this fall camp has developed a sense of urgency. I think he's understanding and seeing defenses better, putting us in good situations in terms of protections and some of the things that we're tapping out. And then CJ's he's aggressive with the football and lacks no confidence.
Coach, how do you get each guy enough reps when obviously you got to get Riley up to speed? How difficult is that, and how do you do it?
Yeah, it's not easy. There's not enough reps going around. Fortunately for the offense and myself, Coach Freeman's done a lot this fall camp with 2-spot, which is something new that we've done. I don't know if you guys noticed in practice at certain portions of the team periods we split and go one set of offense on one field, the other on the other, which allows each quarterback to get more team reps, which I think at the end of the day is the only way you can develop and get better at quarterback.
I think most people know about Riley's talents on the field, but what's kind of his demeanor like in the meeting rooms?
Riley's humble. When he has something to say, it's something important. When he has questions, they're meaningful. In the locker room, though, he's a locker room guy. The guys in the locker room love him. He leads by example. Preparation-wise, he's in there every day trying to get better, trying to understand our defense, trying to understand our offense, and put us in a position to be successful offensively.
And then do your coaching points change for a guy like Riley where he's a dual threat guy versus a traditional pocket passer at all?
Not really. I just want them to understand when we are seeing man coverage or some of the carry stuff that our defense does and they don't necessarily have eyes on the quarterback, that when we can identify that pre-snap, if your initial route concept may not be there, that's always an opportunity for you to get out of there. So just kind of building that into his pre-snap process.
Coach, Mohr, we got.
Coach, we know that Riley is incredibly competitive, right? It's part of the reason he's here. Can you think of a few moments that, during camp that you've seen him be that ultra competitor? He's begging me to go live. I'm like, guy, you just missed all spring. We're not going live. But just coming out the first day we went live, which was Saturday or whatever, I can't even know what day it is. The other night when we had the night practice was our first real live opportunity, and he's like, Coach, talk to Coach Freeman and see if I can be live. I'm like, I'm not even going to entertain that with Coach Freeman. That's not an option. But that's him. He wants to be competitive. He wants to be one of the guys, and for him to play as much ball as he has and want to be live in fall camp, I think that speaks to the competitor that he is and the tough kid that he is.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
Coach, just take us through how you feel like your linebacking group has developed here in the first couple of weeks, or first week of camp.
So we've been through 2 blocks as a team. That's what we call them, 2 little 4 practice blocks. I'm fired up where we're at linebacker. I think we got a different room, different group than we had last year. We had guys that played a lot of football last year, even before I was here. Okay, we got a lot younger room with the exception of Kiser, I understand that, but we got guys that are competing. We're throwing bullets at them from every different angle. We got a lot of guys playing a lot of ball. It's a competitive room. That's the number one thing I would say is the room has been about as competitive as it's been since I've been here, by far, and that's done nothing but helped everybody. So it's been a productive camp.
How much does it help, obviously, to have that competition, but then have Jack as that leader to really lean on to help get those guys up to speed?
Well, from what I've noticed, the competition is kind of taking care of itself in terms of guys wanting to get better, because they want to play. At the end of the day, these guys came here to play football, and they see guys that are producing and doing the things right in front of them or next to them, so that naturally it happens. It is what it is. What Kiser helps us with is Kiser, I think he takes it on himself to uphold the standard that was here when the last few years when his boys were here, when his team was here. Uphold the Notre Dame standard of the defense, the details, run into the football. You can tell that he has he put the onus on him to get that done, and that's showing up.
Max, my question about Drayk Bowen, what makes him unique and how do you coach him?
He's unique because he's versatile, right? He's a big guy. He can run. He can move. He's good in space. He's vocal. He's one of our one of the leaders out there in terms of setting the front and calling it for us. He's just a guy that we can move in a lot of different places, and that's kind of what our room has become. Everyone is versatile. Everyone can line up on the end of the line and rush the quarterback, cover the running back, line up over the A gap and blitz the gap when they run punch. Like, we're trying to get guys that can do a little bit of everything, and then Drayk is definitely in that category.
How can he do the things that he does by playing multi-sports?
I think that helps him. I really do. You guys ask me that a lot, and I think young athletes need to play as many sports as they can growing up, if you ask my opinion. Just go play sports. Go learn spatial awareness. Go learn how to catch a ball, how to avoid a ball. Learn how to, defend a guy and then have help and have to move out of the way and then the ball, like just all that kind of stuff, it's invaluable, right? And it shows up on the football field when you don't have it. So I think it does nothing but help those guys in a lot of ways.
How are you better as a coach in year 2 of Golden's defense, just knowing it instead of having to learn it?
Much more, yeah, it's great because you're not, year 1, you're kind of learning it with the players as they go. Of course, you're learning it before them and then teaching it to them, but you're kind of along for the ride a little bit in some ways, with them. This year, it's completely different. I mean, we have a foundation under us. We have a base. We're able to clean up some stuff that wasn't clean enough last year. So even today, which was a big day out there, we were able to kind of go out there and execute better than we did. I'd say we're moving in the right direction that way. Credit to Coach Golden. It's his 3rd year, and he has his system pretty cleaned up. And since he's been here, every year it's been, more crisp, and this year's no different.
Here you've been begging for a blue jersey. Is that true?
Dude, yeah. Oh my gosh. We had a night practice yesterday, or 2 days ago in the stadium, and they called me down 10 too many times. So I wasn't too happy about that, but I'm excited to go live and get hit.
Why is that? What makes you want to say, come on, let me do this now?
I don't know. I just think it helps. It helps the offense, helps my game. Whenever I can vacate the pocket, extend plays, it obviously gives us better drives and more opportunities to score. So, for obvious reasons, just helps us out.
What's it like having that full mobility back in the fall now and just kind of...
Yeah, dude, it's the best feeling. It's the best feeling in the world. Like, just be able to be myself again. I know my right ankle now is stronger than it's ever been in my life. It's more mobile than the left now because I was working on it so much. So definitely feeling better than I've ever felt before. And it's so good to be able to trust my legs and really play my game.
The opportunity to face your old coach in the first week, what's that like for you, and knowing that he's going to be on the other side?
Yeah, I'll start off with saying, I know it's the political answer, but it's the genuine answer. I don't want to make it about me versus him. Obviously, it's gonna be that way, but I'd rather it be, Notre Dame versus A&M. But to be able to play against him, it's awesome. And it's not just him. It's a lot of the coaching staff from Duke, and it's a lot of the people that I'm really close with, and we're all extremely competitive. So obviously this game means a lot to me. People say every game's the same. This means a lot to me. But yeah, I don't want to make it about me versus Elko at all.
Riley, take us into the quarterback room. What makes it unique, and what's different about this quarterback room?
Yeah, what makes it unique? We're very close, very, very close. We're a tight-knit group. If we're ever hanging out on the weekends, we're hanging out together. I think we're always having each other's back. We made a bunch of plays out there today, and we're the first ones in the end zone celebrating with each other. So I think, to be able to come in as a transfer, there's a lot of stigma and, a lot of tension there, but they brought me in with open arms, and hopefully I've been able to accept them. I know I've been able to accept them on my end, so it's been a good time.
And as far as your game, what is the one area that you've been working on in camp?
Yeah, one area I've been working on in camp is just settling my feet in the pocket, going through my full progressions, and really understanding defenses, understanding coverages pre-snap. Our defense gives me great looks every single day to where I can, go through my reads, go through my protection calls, go through everything, and really be a veteran-type quarterback in this offense. And it's been really easy to do with Denbrock's system.
Have you had a chance to play the EA Sports college football game yet, the new one?
Yeah, a couple times. I don't have a gaming station. I've played a couple times. I don't know if I've won. I don't even know if I've come close to winning. I just feel like it's not the same. Like, I'll go through my reads. I'll be like, dude, it's cover 2. What do you mean that whole shot doesn't work? But Yeah, I'm not very good at all.
How cool is it though to see yourself?
Oh, it's awesome. Like, I think it's the coolest thing in the world. I mean, we're kids. Like, I'm 21 years old. I'm a kid like everybody else in the country. We've been dreaming of this our whole life. So I think it's just really, really cool.
Riley, not many.
Last one, okay, last
How's
one.
the adjustment been to this new offense under Denver?
The adjustment to this new offense with Denbrock, it's similar to what I've done in the past. The quarterback has a lot of control and is able to extend plays in so many different ways. I think we're able to spread the ball out. We got weapons now, like all over the place, even at running back, tight end, obviously, receivers. I think adjusting it wasn't too hard for me. Being a fourth-year guy who's been in a similar system my whole career it's been good. It's been an easy adjustment.
All right, thanks, Riley. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Steve, what's your comfort level in the offense 7 months, 8 months into the process?
Yeah, I have a great feeling about the offense. Had a full season of spring ball under my belt, now going into camp, having all the receivers get here, everyone get up to speed. I feel really good about where I'm at.
And then you went to California to train in May. I guess, what did you want to get out of that trip, and was there like a singular focus at all?
I think just getting around a new group of people, 3D QB definitely helped me a lot. Being able to go out there and just learn some new things and work on some stuff and just get around a new set of eyes. You're always able to improve, so I want to get out for a new pair of eyes and just see what I can work on.
Steve, how much better are you as a quarterback now versus, maybe mid-season last year when you're first starting to get some opportunities here and there?
Yeah, I feel like I've been in a season of constant improvement every day. I'm looking to get better. So whatever, my 1 or 2 things that I'm writing down and trying to get better on the day, I feel like I've hit those almost every day to really focus on.
What's kept you here? A lot of people in your position with the transfer portal, see a guy like Riley come in, they'd leave. What's kept you at Notre Dame?
Yeah, my philosophy is, I'm not a quitter. I like to do stuff the hard way. There's definitely easier routes, but being a guy that made a decision to come here in the first part, I'm going to give it all I got to stay here and make it work.
Steve, as far as the mental approach, how have you grown and what is the mental approach in camp?
Yeah, having Coach Denbrock come here, Coach Gino, Coach Brown, a couple new guys that have been in the building, just getting around new people and learning new things. I feel like every year that I'm here, every kind of season from spring ball to fall camps and the season, I'm just learning new stuff about the game. So there's always a term of constant improvement that I think I'm in, just constant learning. I try and be a sponge when I'm in the building, just talking to Coach Rudolph, Coach Goulden, Coach Mickens, even the defensive guys, just trying to learn new things.
And what's it like being in the quarterback room this year?
It's been great. We have a great group of guys. I'm excited for the season.
Can you feel this added speed at receiver, like as a quarterback? Like, is that noticeable?
Yeah, there's guys in that room that can just straight out fly. I think, every time that we're out there and, you see Chris Mitchell, Jordan Faison. Matt Jeffries, the new walk-on guy that's here, he can absolutely fly too. So it's really cool to see guys like that, Jaden Harrison, Bo Collins, the new guys that are here. And then obviously we've had some guys in the room that have speed as well.
Steve, with how many talented guys you have in your own quarterback room, how hard is it to get enough reps for all of you guys to kind of continue to improve and get better?
Coach Gino does a great job scripting practice for us and divvying out the reps, so he's done a great job, getting everybody their fair share of reps to be able to improve.
So Gino says you're seeing the field a lot better this fall. Like, how do you feel kind of behind center?
I would say a lot more confident compared to last spring and the camps before. And definitely seeing the field a lot better and better at defensive recognition.
What's just been your mindset entering this fall camp compared to last year?
Yeah, this fall camp, I would say just being more calm and just having confidence at the line of scrimmage.
Kenny, you mentioned confidence twice now. A lot of that is attributed to the guys up front. Tell us about this offensive line that is going to be protecting you and the other guys.
Yeah, we feel great about the offensive line. There's some young guys that are going to step up, but we feel confident in them. And, looking forward to this season.
And as far as your game, what is the one area that you've really focused on for fall?
I would say progressing through my reads would be the main point.
With so much competition at that position and the transfer portal being such a thing now, what was it that made you decide not to enter the transfer portal and to stay here at Notre Dame?
I would say my trust in the coaching staff and camaraderie with my teammates made me stay.
What have been your impressions of the receiver group so far?
I think they're great. Obviously, the new additions like Bo Collins, Jaden Harrison, Chris Mitchell, they're all great. And then some younger guys are coming in like Mikey Gilbert. He looks great. So I feel like we'll be more explosive compared to last year.
Let's do one more if you guys got one.
We've heard iron sharpens iron. How has this defense challenged you and made you a better quarterback?
I would say they challenge us every single day. I mean, it's great to go against the best defense in the nation every single day, from pass rush to linebackers to DBs. They definitely make us better as a unit.
All right, thanks, Ken. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, guys.
CJ, where does just your crazy work ethic kind of come from? Was that developed obviously in your family lineage, or is that something you kind of wanted to take upon yourself?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think my dad definitely instilled that in me from a young age, that, and my mom, that what you want, you gotta work for. And then coming here, kind of being around the guys and understanding that everyone's great here, and you can't just kind of do what everyone else does. You got to do a little bit more. Is the only way you'll kind of get on the field. And so I'm just trying to take that in every day.
And then what's just kind of a balance of learning from older guys like Steve and Riley, as well as like you want to put yourself in that competition too?
Yeah, I think it's more take as much from them as you can, and then just beat yourself every day. Do what you didn't do yesterday, work harder than you did yesterday, and the rest will kind of take care of itself.
CJ, you had a really exciting spring, a great couple practices before the spring game. How do you build on that this fall, now that, you're getting some live action?
I think it's the same answer, just coming in every day, trying to be better than I was yesterday, and not trying to compare myself to any of the other quarterbacks, but just compare myself to who I was, the day before.
What are your goals other than that for this fall?
Those are my only goals, honestly. I'll beat myself every day.
CJ, you've been around a lot of football, but your first fall camp, what's the one thing that you might have learned about the game of football?
It's really fun. It's fun. When you in high school, I feel like it was more of kind of go up, run the play, and make it work, I guess. And here it's kind of, you're scheming to do this, and there's checks here, and you can make this call. And I think that's where it's almost like chess, and you're trying to beat the, scheme your way out of situations. And that's what's fun to me is, high school was great. I loved all my coaches. We had a really, good offense, but this is more of thinking and doing, and there's more learning curves for sure, but I'm enjoying it so far.
What's been the point of emphasis for you in camp?
The point of emphasis, I think, has just been kind of connecting the pieces with what we're doing on offense versus what the defense is trying to do to us. And so putting the slide the right way, trying to make sure, we're in the right protection, checking the receivers the right routes if we don't like what the defense is giving us has been, the big thing for me so far.
Coach Guidugli talked about how you guys have implemented like a 2 offense system so that you can get more reps while Riley and Steve are. How much is that helping to be able to get that workload to be able to improve?
I think it's helped a lot. I think we're getting reps that we may not have gotten if we're doing the 1-spot stuff, and so 2-spot has definitely helped Kenny and I think just kind of see more football, be around it more, and get more reps.
Jack, one more time, Royal Center is going to be mentioned a lot, but what is it about this fall camp that is special to you?
Yeah, I think, in years past, you go in, it's just another fall camp, right? Like the groans, the bruises, like all that, you're looking forward to the football, but it's like, it's going to be a grind. Being the 6th camp, you kind of know it's the last one, right? You embrace it a little bit more. You're around younger guys, so they kind of give you a new sense of energy. And I'm still learning and trying to get better, and it's been a really great camp in that regards too. But I think just knowing that there's the last one kind of just changes your whole perspective of it.
Al Golden says having you on the field is like having another coach. What have you learned about being a coach on the field and being a teacher?
Yeah, I think something that's been really interesting and very helpful and empowering for me is having the green dot and kind of be able to hear Coach Golden on the sideline go through his thought process. Like sometimes he's not even talking to me, but he's going through his thought process of down distance, situation, like where are we out in the field, personnel, and I'm able to pick all that up, and then I'm able to bank that into my football intelligence and be like, pull that out. You know what I mean? And so I'm learning a lot just from him without even him really realizing it. So that's been super helpful for me.
Jack, obviously you had an outstanding high school career, but people, when you were coming in, were like, well, it's a very small school, not giving you the credit, and then you kind of made an impact pretty quickly. When you look back at the whole journey, how much fun has this experience been for you?
Yeah, I mean, football in high school compared to football now is completely different, right? I mean, we were on the wing tee, and I was playing safety and coming down, stopping the triple option, and now it's, so much more scheme and just a whole difference. I don't get to play offense anymore, which is a bummer. But in terms of the journey, just looking to see how I've evolved as a player, being a triple option quarterback to now like a box linebacker and putting on a lot of weight and bulking up, and the amount my football intelligence has increased, and the film study habits and all that, and just look how I've changed as a person. It's something I'm really proud, and I'm proud to say I'm from a small town, a small school, and a farm boy, and be able to come here and contribute, but also perform at such a high level.
Where can this linebacker group be better than it was a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, if you look from top to bottom of this linebacker room, I know there's a lot of youth, but there's a lot of talent. These guys are 4 and 5 stars for a reason coming in, right? It's funny, I joke with them, I think I was a 2-star, and now it seems like we only get 5 stars. But in terms of where we can be better, the entire depth, right? You're gonna see 5, 6 guys flying in and out. There's gonna be no loafs on the field. If you're not running the ball, sorry, we can get someone in there for you and play just as well. And so, I think we counted on 3, 4 guys heavily last year, and this year it's, a lot deeper. But we've seen what was put on tape last year, so there's a standard there, and it doesn't matter, who you are or where you're out in the depth chart, you're going to be held that standard, and so that's not going to change.
Jack, Coach Bullough has projected a lot of competition and personality and just high energy into this linebacking group. What are you learning from him in your 6th year?
Yeah, it's been great, especially with a young room, to have an energetic guy like him kind of at the head of it. It's been awesome. You mentioned the word, just competition, right? And I think that just breeds excellence. It really does. It makes everybody come out with their A game. And the best thing about Coach Bullough is yes, he has the energy. Yes, he's probably the only position coach to be screaming his head off during individual drills, right? But at the same time, we're in the film room, no one's scared to voice up and ask a question, right? And I think that's the biggest thing, especially with the young room, to be able to, have the energy on the field, but then come in the room and not have guys scared of the film or scared of the mistakes. That's a huge deal. And so it's been really great for the young room to kind of develop and be better.
Let's do one more.
Jack, you have played in a lot of hostile environments.
Yeah.
To open the season at Texas A&M, what do you think that experience is going to be like for you and for your team as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, to open College Station, SEC country, 12th man, we hear it all. We're excited for it. We've played on the road. We've played in big games before. We're excited. Not going to lie, when I was deciding if I was coming back or not, I did notice Texas A&M was the opening game. So it's going to be really cool. It's something that, if you're an elite competitor playing college football, you want that. You want to be a part of those games and part of those atmospheres. So we're really excited, and the team's pumped for it.
Drayk, where's your game improved over the last couple months?
I would say probably just in the run box, just kind of knowing where I'm supposed to fit, being able to play off different people, knowing where the safeties are going to fit, the different games up front, just knowing how that's going to affect me and where my other linebacker is supposed to be. So I would probably say that's where my game is most improved.
And then how comfortable are you in year 2 running the defense and then just also making all the checks and calls?
Yeah, it was definitely a growing period during the spring, but as fall camp's gone on, I've definitely become more comfortable. It's almost like second nature now, especially with dudes like Jack Kiser in the room, just helping you in the meetings and helping you with checks and stuff like that. But, I'm definitely getting more and more comfortable as time goes on, and so hopefully by season be 100% comfortable with it.
Drayk, following up on that question, what's the biggest takeaway from last year? What comes naturally to you now, and what's the thing that you really learned from the experience?
I would probably just say just knowing the playbook. That was probably the area where I was pretty good at when I got here, and then just kind of learning where everyone else is supposed to be, where everyone else is supposed to fit in the pass game, run game. I think throughout the spring and now fall camp, that's the area where I've most improved, just learning where everybody else is going to be.
And being from Northwest Indiana like you, what blue-collar attitude really translates here and helps you?
Definitely the nitty-gritty run game. It's kind of all we got up in Indiana. So, just being able to get in the box and be strong and tough in there is definitely something that I learned in high school and growing up in Northwest Indiana, and now is going to help me here.
Got one more for him, maybe?
How's it been having a guy like Jack Kiser in your position?
It's awesome. He's a great dude. He's been playing football for a long time, so he's seen a lot. He's been around different systems, so if you got questions about anything, especially little details, like he's gonna know it and he's gonna help you with it. And so I think that with him, it's helping our room improve more or faster. And so I think he's a great dude, and I'm glad he stayed for his last year. So.
All right, Drayk, thank you.
Thank you.
Jaiden, what's kind of different about this camp this year compared to last year at this time?
I would say, the jump in me learning the playbook, being more comfortable in the defense and just being more, a vocal leader and being more comfortable with the team, I think it's, really helped me jump towards, where I am now, so.
And then Golden's defense is obviously complex. What's it kind of like learning multiple positions?
Right. I think, his NFL-style defense is really going to help us, for the next level in terms of the language, the way you got to vocalize it on the field. And then also, he does a great job of putting, not just the linebackers, but also, edge rushers, safeties and corners at different positions and really moving us around and also disguising us too. So I think that he's really done a good job of that.
You have to earn it, of course, but knowing the opportunity is there, how much different does that make things versus last year when obviously you knew who was going to be on the field both of the time?
Right. Going into this year, I would say that, I'm definitely more locked in, definitely more focused, especially with the defense being easier, definitely feeling more comfortable out there playing. So I would say, that's different from last year. So.
And then how much do you learn from a guy like Jack?
Too much. He's been here for, I think this is his 6th year. He's always giving us tips, not just on the field, but also off the field. Even when we're out there playing with him, he's setting stuff straight if it's not. But, playing with him and, learning with him is a big advantage.
As far as technique, where have you grown the most this fall camp?
I would definitely say in the box. I would say when I came in last year, that was probably one of my, I wouldn't say weaknesses, but something that I had to improve in. But I was saying now that, I've gotten stronger, kind of bigger, learned the game. Well, I said that's been, a big jump from last year to now.
How about seeing the game? What have you picked up on peripheral vision and just viewing the play?
Right. The game has moved a lot slower, with studying the film, learning the offense and then learning the defense too. I would say, really knowing what I'm going to do before the play and knowing what the offense is going to do before the play, that's really been helping me a lot. And I think that's where I've improved from, not even last year, but from spring to now too. So.
Jaylen, what's kind of your mentality for this camp, third camp?
It's just been it to get better, honestly. Just get better, work on playing with the team, work on playing with the other linebackers that I'm going to be playing with this year. And pretty much it.
And then how is the position a little different when you're inside versus outside?
It hasn't really been different for me because I've been playing all 3 positions since I was a freshman. So I know them like the back of my hand now, and I'm just ready to play wherever Coach puts me.
Is this year different in terms of obviously last year there was like almost like a ceiling with the guys that were in front of you, and now obviously Jack's got a lot of experience, but after that it's kind of wide open. How does that kind of change things a little bit for you guys?
I'm honestly just excited to see what we can do. Like, I know we're a young linebacking core, but I think we're really, really good, and I think we can be really, really good this year. So I'm just excited, honestly, just to see what we can do, knowing that we have a young group with us.
Where's your game improved? Where's your game improved?
I feel like my game is most improved with my hands, starting with my hands, being able to use my hands to disengage blockers and engage with them and just, getting off blocks.
Jaylen, what's it like playing for Coach Bullough? Take us inside the room with him. What's he like?
He's very intense. He's a funny guy. He's just a great coach overall. He's just really been able to connect with me. Honestly, I've just been able to connect with him on a different level. I feel like all the other guys in the room have been able to connect with him on another level, and I feel like we're just all getting better and growing closer together because of him.
he looks like he could be one of the players out there.
Yeah,
So how competitive is he, and like how much does that drive you guys?
He has so much juice. Like Golden always says no juice, but he has the juice, and he's always ready to go, and he's always gonna fight for me and fight for everybody in the room. So it's just like he just has so much energy for us, and it's just like we feed off of that, and we just want to play with as much energy as he has.
Jaylen, as this linebacker group has an identity right now, or it's still a work in progress?
Still a work in progress for now.
How would you describe this right now?
I feel like fast, talented, and young.